we're here with Cristy Road of Choked Up, and also illustrator, activist, what have you. So yeah, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Oh God, I'm gonna try to be quick because I'm a Gemini with a Mercury in Gemini. If that means anything to anyone, it just means I talk a lot. And you gotta, I like questions, but my name's Cristy Road, and yeah, I started a zine in the 90s. In 1997, I published the first green zine, and just being a part of punk, it was like that was the meaning of life. That was like the reason to just keep going. It was just such a terrible, everything was so terrible otherwise. And I was so excited to be a part of this place where I can like talk about anything and just be myself, and you know, it was a long journey to like find people like me, and a lot of terrible shit happened, and it made me angry and pissed through the years, more and more pissed, especially, you know, between 2000 and 2010. I was just, I don't know, just the like my zines became just more, they started as a Green Day fanzine in 97. It was called Green Zine, and it was all about Green Day for the first issue and a half. Of Nimrod had just come out, so I was like, I'm going to be the official source for news for Nimrod, because I fucking, you know, that was when yahoo.com took like a year to load. It was, so we had like AOL, and then we had like all these AOL, you know, like it was like this internet that wasn't browser. It was like this weird thing. And so Reprise Warner Brothers had its own AOL. It was like apps, like the first app. And so anyways, that like I found all these like people there, and I was like, I'm gonna start this zine, and I'm gonna, you know, but it's gonna be in the punk community. I'm gonna find my punk community in Miami and where I was living, and I'm gonna like be a part of that and like, you know, create within that, but then still, you know, the internet was this new thing. So I was like on the cusp of, you know, real community-based punk, and then like finding all these other sad people. Cause it was even, I couldn't get to shows. I wasn't even allowed to fucking sleep over people's houses. I'm Cuban. I was like, you know, I was just like crying at home, listening to all the Lookout Records catalog, writing my zines. And so, yeah, like that, this is what I mean, that I just don't shut up and I'll just start rambling old stories.
No. About 1995. I can relate to the AOL era very, very well.
I think we all have that dial-up sound ingrained. Like,
yeah, it's always
in our brain.
It was back in the day, to communicate with people, it was ASL, age, sex, location. Like, yeah. It was like that. I don't want to fucking talk to you if I don't know those three things.
Yeah, those are, you know, once you get those out of the way, because even if they have all these amazing bands listed on their AOL profile, you know, gotta get that ASL.
Are we ever going to meet in real life? Is this going to be like a 20-year online friendship thing?
Yeah. I love that some of those people are still in my life, and like some of those people that I met who were like, you know, very like obsessed with Lookout Records, but were in a scene that was very, you know, in my case, it was like a lot of just like bros and straight dudes, and just like a lot of misogyny, and just like I had my girlfriends, I had like the most badass like two best friends, you know. So it was like I had a lot of room to grow and be independent and write my zines and have that power, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I always felt made fun of. Everybody fucking made fun of me. Everybody, you know, it was like, and I remember I was once like spray painting Crowdcore on the side of a warehouse outside the Groovy Ghoulies show in 1998, and I was a Crowdcore. I thought I was so cool. I just cut my hair, and all these kids were just like, "Oh, that bitch wants to be Erin Comet Bus. She's the Comet Bus wanted me," you know, and it was just like. I wasn't like hurt. I was just kind of like, fuck you then, you know, you just kind of don't care. But like, it was just kind of this, I don't know, this moment of like, you really just have to believe in who you are and do whatever you want. And like, I forgot what I was originally talking about.
Oh, the Green Day zine. Yeah, the Green Day
yeah,
zine.
you kind of like writing yourself.
In the AOL era.
Yeah.
AOL. But yeah. I think so. I'll just end that whole green zine era because my life has evolved a lot since. It's just so important to remember where we come from and stuff. Because the zine did become around the time where everyone thought I wanted to be Erin Comic Bus. The zine became personal and it became stories of like, I met this person walking down the street and then we fell in love for the night, but then my mom, she starts beeping, she starts paging me 911, and like, so the zine just became very personal, and then the more people hurt me, the more, complicated existence became with dealing with a lot of misogyny at school, misogyny in the punk scene, and then racism, and then, a lot of like classism. I was like really into ska, and I would go to these shows and there was a huge Latino, like skinhead ska scene, and it was beautiful. It was just like, we were proud of our working class roots. We were proud of where we were coming from. But then you don't shame poor people. You don't shame, it was like a kind of like working class pride that was not celebrating. It was just like, we're the best, kind of, we're surviving better than these people who, have, government benefits, for example. Just a lot of classist bullshit being thrown around. So I was the party killer. And like, I feel like my whole life with punk has been like being the party killer, finding a place where I'm not the fucking party killer. And then I think that my zine, just like my art, everything I did just followed that whole trajectory of like, well, I'm pissing people off here, so I'm going to go here where I'm not pissing anyone off because I can't take it anymore. But yeah, then you grow up and you realize like, maybe that's not the, like, I look at so many of my friends that like stuck around their ska scene there, and just like revitalized it and like kept pissing people off, and it's like, that's fucking awesome. And like, I think that like but yeah, thanks to the internet I got to keep pissing people off. I had my AOL press. Crowdcore.org used to be crowdcore.aol.com. But anyways, yeah, like the zine and that connection to punk and that whole place where I was coming from, like, just progressed because I don't know, I just really wanted to keep telling my story, and I really wanted to put it out there more than just in this DIY feminist, riot girl zine culture that I was like a part of in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And like, because that's kind of what my life became as an artist, as a punk. Like, I couldn't, like, nobody wanted to be in a pop punk band with me. Like, I don't know, like, I always had these like moments of like, oh, I'm in this amazing community, but then no one wants to be in a pop punk band. And then I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to move to New York City where everyone's in a pop punk band. And I moved here in 2004 where like there was so many pop punk bands. There was like Crybaby MacArthur, Erin Comic Bus was in, and then like the Steinways and Queen, it was just like all these bands that were in totally different communities. But like, I was like, I'm going to go and set up a show with all these bands that never play with each other and talk shit about each other. And it's going to be the dream, the Gemini dream. And like, the evolved Gemini, not Donald Trump Gemini. Like the Gemini wants everybody to be friends and fight, and it's okay. And yeah, so I don't know. I just kept wanting to grow and wanting to stay where I was. Like, how the fuck do I do that? So I just kind of, I don't know. I just have always been my own boss and kept doing my own thing. And then the zines turned into graphic novels and illustrated novels more so, like, and then about high school. Indestructible is about high school. Bad Habits is about moving to New York City to heal from abusive relationships that I had like written about in the later green zines when it became more personal and less about bands. And in the beginning it was about Green Day, but then it turned into like I'd interviewed, I interviewed American Steel and Bratmobile and Larry Livermore from Lookout. I interviewed every band that was on Lookout and active. I tried. That was my goal. And then Adeline Records started, so I interviewed every band on Adeline Records.
I love
and
that.
Like,
good.
I fucking loved Bay Area, East Bay punk, and anything related to it. And those were just the bands that I was, and one day Erin Comic Bus wrote me a postcard, and he's like, how come you never write about your local band, Miami bands? Like, why don't you interview some Miami bands? And I was like, fine! And I did. I wrote about Miami bands, but I wrote it like right before I was moving to just, you know, go like live in northern Florida. And then I moved to Philly. And then, you know, it just like I just never really got to experience Miami punk in this way. So I wrote these graphic novels that were about my experience in Miami without, you know, kind of like articulating why I romanticized. I wonder if that postcard pushed me to do all that. But no, I did. A lot pushed me to do that. I really felt like I needed to tell, just my story. I think it's so important when you look back at your teenage years and middle school years and you're like, God, that person sucked or that, you know, like it's really great to just like sit down and articulate all that and be like, damn, this whole journal is going to be like my next zine. And then I was like, I don't want it to be, you know, stuck in that world. So I like pushed Microcosm, who I was working with in 2005, to make Indestructible a book with an ISBN, and then it, you know, and then it's in libraries, and then it's in catalogs for like YA stuff, and yeah, and then Bad Habits was about moving to New York and doing drugs and healing from abusive relationships and figuring out like a language for being a survivor and being a party killer, because you're a fucking survivor and you want to sing about that in your band, and you know, so you have to pick pop punk or riot girl. This is like 90s drama. Like that should be fucking over, you know. We should be able to do whatever the fuck we want. And like, you know, and it's like now I'm like, oh yeah, like, but back in the day, I don't know, you're young too, you feel so like where can I be free?
Yeah.
But I found a lot of places to be free, and I was able to just keep telling my stories, and there's a lot of great, you know, I don't know, there's been a lot of great platforms and communities that I've been able to just grow in and do my things, and pop punk and feminist punk and queer punk, all kinds of stuff. Yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, that's who I am. Like that was one question.
I think you touched on like a lot of stuff that's reflected in your art, and seeing like the evolution from, you know, starting this like Green Day zine versus now when you have like, you know, your tarot deck and
that's the most recent
all
thing,
these very like politically driven, you know, illustrations and, you know, personal stories and, you know, just everything all encompassing. Like, do you think your art, like as you're making it, it's almost like a cathartic experience for you because you're telling these stories that you may not have been able to tell otherwise, you know?
Yeah, it's always it's weird because like with the tarot deck, it was the first project that it's like I'm following a tradition. I'm like, you know, I love that so many people are doing tarot decks. I love that Jenny from Bad Cop did a tarot deck. That's a movie.
That's when we found out about your tarot deck, because she was raving about it. We're like, we gotta check.
Yeah. No, I'm so grateful
about it.
Yeah, it's awesome when there's crossover with different communities, because tarot, you know, there's always like people. When I was in high school, all the goth kids loved tarot decks and they were into the craft, and I was like, I just want beer and the Ramones. I don't like this magic. And it really took a lot. It took like I thought I was like magic and weed. And now I'm like magic and weed.
Yeah.
And like, it's just, I needed my ancestral magic. I needed like Santeria. I needed like just people of color and Latinx magic and like community to just really find that part of myself, because I wasn't going to find it in my like punk community where we were giving each other tarot card readings, but we weren't all coming from the same place ancestrally. And, you know, I just really needed that phase of life to just like remind me like where I'm coming from and why I should do a tarot deck, and why, you know, like why that fell on my lap and I did it. Because I didn't even, at first I was like, why the fuck am I, you know, and then it just happened. But yeah, it's so different from like telling my story about abuse. Like my last book was Spit and Passion, and it's about the Green Day love that happened before the zine, before punk. Like I was into Aerosmith, and I was really into like Aerosmith, Def Leppard, and Queen. But I just like I didn't see a place for women and just like queer, bisexual, bi-curious, weird, like gender questioning. Like I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted out of life or sex, and I wanted music that reflected that. And then it's like, so the book is Spit and Passion is all about that change from like being this metalhead preteen that like didn't like feel connection to my body. Like I just felt like masturbation and stuff like that was this like side, this like cool perk you get for being a human. But like I would fantasize about me as another human, and and so listening to Green Day and discovering like queercore, and their first tour that I heard of them, they were touring with Pansy Division. And then like all my Lookout Records pen pals introduced me to like Bikini Kill and Slater Kinney and all of these, all these bands that were happening at the time that like never came to Miami, or they did. I get it. Miami's far. That shit's so far. I don't even go to, like on tour, it's like I've done one Miami show per band. It's very like, I was in a band. I'm in a band called Choked Up now, but I was in a band called Home Wreckers for a while. And it was like the Miami shows. It's like the tour was always based around Miami. So, I forgive all those bands, but all the bands that came down to Fort Lauderdale, good ass show.
Jack off, Joe.
Everyone came.
Yes. There's a lot of good bands in the Fort Lauderdale. The Marilyn Manson got his start out there.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But I love Pansy Division. I saw them at Gilman, and honestly, one of the best shows of my life.
What show was it? I saw them at the Lookout Freakout. It was like a reunion.
Yeah, I went. That's what I went to. Yeah, I went to the reunion show where all the 3-day weekend.
Well, they're still recording and stuff, so it would be technically just like a special event.
Yeah, it was so good, and I met Larry there, and I just bugged him all night. I was like, "So, what was it like discovering Craig Cool?"
Fun. That was,
Yeah, I'm a old school Green Day fan as well, so that passion I can completely relate to.
Yeah, it was. I didn't know that there was a fraction of that scene in Miami with bands like Los Canadians and Cream Electric Santa and the Chicken Head. It was like these punks that would, like they travel and go on tour and move and then it's like when I became part of that community, I was like, why do all these motherfuckers in Gainesville date people in Chattanooga? Everyone fucking is like, and Minneapolis and then Oakland, and it was like this weird. But then nobody knew New York punks, and I was like, I'm moving to New York. I'm gonna fucking no. But there was a lot of New York. There was a lot of Bay Area punks moving to New York when I moved to New York, and I don't know. It felt like in Brooklyn there was totally like a scene of bands that had even that sound like shot well, and like I don't know, like that sound of in the South we called it region rock. But anyways, like finding that DIY East Bay punk with all the political values and the Food Not Bombs meetings and all that stuff, like I couldn't get a ride. A lot of my friends would be like, oh, you want to go to the smelly white people shows? And I'm just kind of like, yes. And it's like, yes, that's where the smelly white people go, but there's also smelly Latinos, there's smelly people of all ethnicities, because we don't judge each other for not showering. And there's a smelly Cuban, that's me. I'm going to go. I don't feel like showering. I used to lie to my mom about showering. I wanted to find a punk scene where I could just fucking live, and not be judged. And like, it was like the punk scene that I was a part of, it was a very, it was like a very OC, like y'all are near the OC, like a lot of, and I was like, work it, work your fucking CK1. All those motherfuckers were wearing CK1 and going to the hardcore show in their fucking CK1 and their brand new Adidas, and what was Pumas were like the thing more at the time. but like advisors, like this is Miami, you know, and I feel like LA similar. And it's like I love those people. I'm like, yeah, work hard, do what you do, believe in your aesthetic, your life, but don't fucking judge me because I want to go feed the fucking homeless and like wear a gross ass shirt of like Up Ivy that I haven't washed in a month. Like, you know, and it's just kind of like, I haven't washed it because our fucking washer broke. It was like, I would see more and more how like, you know, judgment was like classist. It could be this, it could be that. And I just felt like I needed to find that like magical community. And I found it in Miami. In Miami, there's just so much amazing. It was a small scene. But I don't know. I saw, I'm like, oh, a lot of these bands like don't even live here anymore. Like a lot of, at the time, this is like 1999, 2000. And everyone's like, I'm moving to the Bay. I'm moving to the Bay. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready. I feel like I'm still like an East Coast bitch. And I'll live in the Bay someday. But now I'm just like a monthly visitor. And yeah, I left to New York in 2004.
Okay.
Oh.
Nice.
What's the scene like now?
In New York?
Yeah, versus like back when you first moved there.
Well, I mean, it's just, I feel like LA is the same, where it's just so big. Like I didn't grow up in a place like this. Miami had like, you know, they had like the scene that had the more food not bombs and just these more DIY punks, and there was hardcore scenes and ska scenes that were like maybe class was informing, you know, like the cleanliness or like the politicizedness of the community. And I really believe that. I think that there was a lot of like rich suburban punks you know, playing music that was more fun, maybe more apolitical. And, you know, I don't know, I could get down with whatever. I'm like, I like Newfound Glory, but Newfound Glory were really into 15. They're from South Florida originally. And I was just like, oh, this, you know, like there's different kinds of people in every scene. And I just felt like it was small and easy to find. And in New York, there's so many, you know, politically charged scenes, and then there's like scenes that are just more about creating music, and then maybe aren't necessarily shady or shitty, and then there's some that are like shitty, and like, you know, just like there's so many shitty punk scenes that like uphold white supremacy and shit like that. And like, and in New York, it's like of course there's like fucked up like punk scenes that like we still like are arguing against. And so the scenes that I've been a part of in the last couple years, I just feel like I keep gravitating towards the more people of color and more queer punk scenes as far as discovering new bands and the bands I end up playing with.
Yeah.
And like I feel like there's a very like kind of like I don't know. There's always been a pop punk scene since the beginning of time. I imagine it being like since the beginning, like since the 40s. And like there's always been bands, like amazing bands. Weird Skin, I think, would be the band I was really excited about, that had members of the Steinways and members of all these bands of back in the day. And I don't think we ever got to Choked Up, never got to play a show with them, but we play with shows with a lot of hardcore bands. There's a band called Maafa, were so amazing. And then there's a lot of bands that were connected to the original lineup of Choked Up. And now we have a new lineup, but there's a pandemic, so I'm just like, let's not even worry about that. We have a record out with an amazing lineup, and Rachel and Wes, who the drums and guitar, who are they're in other bands called Universe Ignore Her and Gibbons, and just seeing the scene of their community flourish was just something that I'm like, oh, I'm old. Like, look at this in a good way, but in a like, oh, look, there's so many fucking scenes, and like just being a part of all these different scenes. And there was a lot of queer punk bands. There's a band called Trashy, and a band called who's a band that we would just play with a lot recently, Mandy, fucking amazing band, who used to be called Library, but now they're hardcore band. We end up playing with these hardcore bands, and I think of growing up and how all the political bands and we're all hardcore bands, and then I don't know, like it's like it ends up being like we end up playing a lot of shows that are like, this is a cause we believe in, this is something we want to be a part of, or a festival we want to be a part of. But we played the fest, and that was really fucking cool. But like, we played a weird venue that was very far, but a lot, it's like like a bunch of people we love came, and it was really magical. And then we played, I think we played Pooza Fest. It was our first Pooza ever. And they gave us the fucking, now I'm a douchebag and I can't remember the name of the venue. It was like the largest indoor venue.
The bigger one, yeah.
Yeah, with the most amazing fucking lighting. Thank you, sound guy. Like, it was so amazing. And that was our first Pooza Fest. And it was like, we played to an amazing crowd. And like, they took a photo of me jumping. And I'm like, like, I was just like, all right, this is amazing, and it's like, not everything's going to be perfect. And I think the new venue we were playing at was kind of experimental, because the original venue that it was at got shut down, in a very unfortunate, shitty way, gentrification and development. And they were very sad, and it was kind of a last minute change. It was the hardback. But the owners are so awesome and so nice, and they made sure that like it was an amazing show and the sound was really amazing and people danced. And but yeah, on tour we end up playing so many different kinds of shows. There's a band called the Muslims in Durham that we play a bunch with when they're in New York, or when we go down to Durham. And I feel like we've gone to Durham like a million times already, because I was like half living there for a minute working. And I don't know, there's a venue called the Pinhook that we ended up playing a lot at, and then we played, I don't know, we've just had a life there. And then we went out west, and there's just so many bands. I'm like, I can't go down the list of all the bands we've played with, but every tour, there's just been all these new communities. When we played out west, we played like the sickest pop punk show in Riverside. And I was like, these are my teen dreams. I know the pop punk, all the best pop punk. That fucking show with Jenny at the book show was a teen dream. I messaged everyone. I'm like, come on, make my teen dreams happen. And I book all these shows, like dreaming of the teen dream without really considering stuff that a lot of bands, I don't know, like, I don't know. It always works out, though, just kind of trying to, like, get bands that seem awesome together that may have never played together before. And
yeah,
we played with Undercover Monsters, and, I don't know, we played with a bunch of bands in Riverside, and it was really awesome. And then, but then in like, the Bay Area, we played with a lot of hardcore bands. I don't know, it was just really awesome. And, yeah.
Nice. I kind of want to touch on, you brought it up a little bit, and it's kind of something that like we've been pushing within like our collective, is bringing awareness to like marginalized groups and bands that may not have like the representation that like cis white male bands have. And I think looking at the punk scene now, it's grown a little bit in that sense. Like, you certainly see more bands who have now like identified themselves within like the LGBTQ community and have people of color and, strong feminist values. But I think there's still like a long way to go with that, especially in more rural areas like the South and, that. And I think those issues are very reflective within your art too. So like, how do you feel in regards to like where the punk scene is now, with the exposure to more, queer bands, trans bands, people who have members of other races, stuff like that?
I think that there's so many new, amazing institutions that like could be a lot more, but aren't, because of funding and because of, but because there is so much, young punks organizing, and there's a lot of people like also kind of redefining what it mean, like what punk means to them, because to me it was like the genre went hand in hand with the politics.
Yeah.
But then when you associate the politics to like this whole other genre, but then you find out, oh, punks are also, I don't know, I just feel like younger folks have a whole different upbringing with punk.
Oh yeah. There's
Days.
certainly like a we see it a little bit. There's almost like a divide versus like the old punks versus like today's punks, you know? Like
I do think that the old punks, there's a lot of old punks that have a lot of power. I do think that they need to just stop trying. Like, I think it's a financial stability thing. Like, I've been an illustrator for 20 years or more, but as far as working, I've been working since before the 2007, 2008 recession. And when the recession happened, I lost all of my, for example, Condé Nast clients. And I lost a lot of like pop punk affiliation that like, I lost a lot of pop punk affiliation after Ben Weasel punched a woman on stage at that one concert. Yeah. And everybody had their opinion on it. And, you know, I believe, I'm like, more accountability, better apology, blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about it more and not just put it under the rug because he was having a bad day. And then the other side is like, he's having a bad day. Why do you got to start drama? Yeah. And then it's just like, I don't even want to deal with this. I'm just going to stop playing these shows. And it was very sad for me and very noticeable for me. But I don't think it was noticeable. Like, no, a lot of people weren't going to miss me. They're like, okay, well, Cristy's not going to illustrate some album covers and not going to be at these shows. The home wreckers aren't going to play these shows, but we're not going to miss them. They're not, you know, I just felt like I was in a different place in my life where I didn't care about fighting for that space. Mm-hmm. And now I do care more. And I remember having like a long conversation about like playing, you know, something like the Fest and like believing in like that it can change and that it could represent more women, more queer bands, more people of color. But it was, you know, and there was, you know, a lot of different kinds of bands, and it's like, I don't even know who half the bands playing are. I'm just kind of like, I don't even, it's just such a huge institution now that like, yeah. I don't even know. So pretty much what I was saying before about Condé Nast, it's like a lot of people got to keep their business afloat. Yeah. And I did not keep my business afloat. I was like, fuck you, Condé Nast, because you don't want to hire me because all my art, I have too much radical affiliation, or all of my thumbnails, my sketches are too, you know, that started happening. I would give in my thumbnails and they were like, what if you draw this? And then I'd draw that and it'd be like, awesome. And I'm like, why don't you just fucking tell me that in the first place? Because these are very well-paying jobs. These are like, you know, GQ. Like, this is when like big magazines were just hiring more illustrators, like when Rolling Stone was big. And like, so yeah, just a lot of clients were like telling me what to draw in a way that there was no room. Now, you know, they're like, draw less little dots on everything. And I'm like, those little dots were inspired by the Chris Applegren and like all the old Lookout Records art. And those little dots are very important to me. Stop fucking up my style. But, you know, sometimes I'm like drawing a portrait of like a family or like a, you know, like an inspirational woman or something. And then it's just like, I'm not going to, you know, don't give her a bunch of little dots on her face. Like, just like chill.
I respect her plunk too much to not understand what the dots are there for.
Days art in the Dookie. Like, I don't know. Yeah, all the little dots, they're just beautiful.
Yeah.
The back cover of her book does have the little dots.
Yes.
I don't think L'Oreal has that many little dots though, but the guy on the ground in the back, little dots. But yeah,
the fucking conversation novels. Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, too much. But no, a lot of clients are like, take the little dots out, and whether the cause is you know, whether the reason is like something on, okay, yeah, I want to be respectful, or the money is right. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna take these dots off of this car because you're paying me $2,000 for like drawing a fucking, you know. And that's the thing. That's why it's like, I do think it's so fucked up when things don't change. But then I just think of how many businesses will end if they don't keep only signing these like bands that cater to think of Trump votes. 50% of America is, so imagine getting money from 100% of America because your band is not that political and is rock and roll, so appeals to white supremacists and leftist rockers because your message is vague and it's amazing music. And not that the message is vague in a fucked up way. I don't even mean that in a mean way. I just, like, people got to be real. Like, if you're not overtly political, be proud of whatever it is you are. You're a fucking shredder. You're a fucking, you know.
Yeah, even with, like, the political bands, too. Like, I feel like I saw more comments on Bad Religion's page from people going, stop being political.
Yeah, they're like keep the politics out of punk. Like, what? Like,
wait, they kind of ushered a bunch of lefty teens, and
like,
their fault. A bunch of kids that were just skating and doing drugs. Suddenly we're like, let's go read some fucking theory.
Like
we're
talking about politics? What? No, this isn't for me.
Like hiding, like.
And I do think I think it's so much work, and I see it. I think loving Green Day so much and like seeing their Trump trolls, like Instagram will highlight the harassment comments for me. Instagram will be like, hey, you want to start a fight today? But I'm like, no. Sometimes I don't know, but yeah, like I just feel like these bands that I love that like need to survive and need to it's like they have the power to like continue to like challenge these fans that are like on the wrong side of history. And they do so like in their songs, but yeah, with a band like Green Day, it's like you have the power to like choose to do a political album. And but I don't know, like you gotta like I've worked for all kinds of big ass companies. Time Warner has some red ass tape, and you know, like every band. I usually so Cardi B. I'm just like, how much amazing shit has Cardi B proposed? And it's not, you know. I just feel like she's super powerful and she's super amazing, but like there is red tape all over capitalism, all over releasing music, releasing work. So I do think that a lot of the like white or like watered down and whitewashed punk and stuff is about people trying to like appeal to everyone. But as far as like small communities and what I identify as punk, like these like, you know, DIY, like kind of, it's like if you're trying to like create a punk rock community that the foundation is, you know, like political awareness and showing up for the community, and you just happen to be like a lot of white dudes or a lot of like cis white folks, or like, you know, even cis white women, or like, you know, just kind of like seeing like, oh well, we're a demographic and we have an important story to tell, but then our community like lacks this and this and this. But then it's kind of like, well, how can we use our power to work around that? And I think with me as like, you know, a cis Latina who's like queer and has always been very vocal in the queer community and very like, you know, people do give me platforms sometimes where I'm like, oh, I feel like a trans person should speak for this, not like a weird girl that has had like gender drama and gay bashing and all that shit because of how I am, but like the experience in America, the experience in healthcare, you know, those are narratives that I don't have like a complicated experience with. So I think that there's a lot of platforms that I think, you know, should be given to trans folks or Black folks or like just folks with a narrative that needs to be heard and needs, you know, and like, but, you know, at the same time, it's like, we need to do what we can. Like, we need to speak up for other people. If the platform is just going to be given to us because, well, we do a badass thing, we're a badass artist, we're a badass this, that, you just use, I think it's just important to like find ways to use that platform to just elevate people and like, you know, and I think that like sometimes a lot of folks will get that confused with becoming a political project, you know, and it's just like, it's not really that. It's not like stop painting flowers to start painting, you know, bombs. It's like, just maybe consider your place where you live, like if you're in LA and you're having an art show downtown, but then you're right down the street from fucking Skid Row, do something for poor people, you know. And then it's like, if you're a collective that's about elevating women, like research trans women in bands. There's so many, not, you know, and it's just like, I love that like Laura Jane Grace became like known and appreciated, and I fucking love her. I grew up with her and she's amazing and she's so inspirational. But a lot of punks will just simplify it and be like, well, we like Laura Jane Grace. But then it's just like, how do you think Laura Jane Grace feels about that? Like, that's tokenizing. Like, there's so many trans women in different bands and playing different genres and doing different things that are like badass and important. And like, I think that you can like just look it up. Like, and that's the thing, like I listen to music from the 90s and I don't run a blog, I don't run a podcast, I don't, you know, so it's like, if you're gonna do that, like, that's the thing. It's like really like exceed your boundaries, piss people off. Like, and like, I feel like I've done a bunch of interviews that never get run by like fancy art things. Like obey and stuff. Like, I don't know. Like I won't talk about it. The obey thing, I don't even give a fuck. That was like 12 years ago. The people who are working there probably don't even work there anymore. I'd love to do an interview with them if they wanted. Even if, like, I'm just kind of like, whether that's the thing. It's like institutions, waiting around for institutions to become amazing is not how to fix the problem. It's like, keep doing your thing, and if the institution isn't going to take you, which is how I feel about playing pop punk music and only playing hardcore shows.
Yes.
And like, but it's, yeah, if the institutions aren't going to like take you in and like nurture you and like respect your craft, but also keep you in line with your politics, then fuck the institution and find another one or start your own. And, but yeah, that's fucking hard. That takes part-time jobs.
Yeah.
You all know you have an amazing thing that you're doing. Like, you know, it's like.
Yeah, it's because we're tired of what other people are doing. It's not connecting with us. And that's when you build your own, is when you stop connecting with the things around you. Yeah, like we're all from different areas, so we have like our own locals. Like Trap Girl is out here, and a great band, you know, led by. Yes, I love Drew. Like, honestly, like, so good, and we have the same like love for bands that we grew up with, like Jessica from Jack Off Jill and like L7 and 7 Year Bitch, like these bands that like formed who we were, and now they're making music. So we support that because it's coming from what, you know, our Green Day roots and, you know, other stuff.
I just think that we want like more. Like we like growing up in like my early 20s or teens, I'm like, okay, I like these bands. They're very like apolitical, like you said. But then as I like started aging, and I'm like, I want like people that actually speak their mind about important things and like want to make a difference, and like we want to kind of use this platform in that way to where we're like this band is so like talking about like queerness, or this band is talking about how they like hate the system and they hate oppression and they like want to do something different, and we want to like vocalize and elevate those bands and everything like that. So
that is what I love about the way that the our tours like end up. Our tour in the Bay Area, we had like 4 shows that were all booked by the band Coherence. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, you know, like politicized like hardcore bands and some emo bands and then us, and then in LA we played with the band Yarrow and the band And now I want to find the flyer.
So many good bands.
Because I never remember anything. But anyways, it was just a lot of bands that had different sounds. And the LA show, like Alice Bag and Allison Wolf were like, they're old friends, but it's just like, you know, you get to a certain age and then you're just like, oh, all the like isolated punks that grow up with their work and their work becomes their career. We're like lonely and weird. And then we all have to like band together and be friends. And like, I remember, and like, this was such an amazing, oh my God. I don't know what's happening. Did you hear that? That was my mom calling.
Aww.
But yeah, like it was just kind of these amazing shows that were just set up. Oh, I don't know. Sorry, I just want to make sure my computer doesn't. Could you still see me?
Yeah.
Okay. My computer blew up really quick, and I'm trying to get rid of this. It's so terrible, but it's fine.
Technology.
Yeah, I'm very bad at technology. As long as you can see me.
See you, hear you.
It's been pretty interesting to find out who's technologically savvy during this pandemic with like the FaceTimes and like Zooms and trying to like stay in touch through.
Well, I'm not.
Well, we adapt.
Yeah. That was cool what I just did. I just like, all right.
The internet.
Gotta
Always
love
something.
Yeah. We did play an amazing show with Alice Bag in New York. The Groans was the other band. The Groans ended up setting up a bunch of shows. And then Causa. And Causa are a hardcore band from like Latinx hardcore community in LA, and it was just this whole other. And then the Groans and Jan, not Yarrow. Yarrow's from Philadelphia. Sorry, I said that before. Yarrow played with us in Philadelphia. Jan, with 2 A's, is a queer core band, and then the Groans also, and then with us, Choked Up, who are just, you know, melodic punk. And this lady comes up to us in Davis, and, you know, she said she was into grindcore, and she comes up to us and she's like, "You're not pop punk," because it said like pop punk on your Instagram, but this is not pop punk. And I was like, "No, but it's not like Taking Back Sunday. It's like, you know, like Dookie." And she was like, "What?" And I'm like, "Dookie!" And then she's like, "I'm into grindcore." I loved her. I was like, "Oh my God, you're so badass. I wish I cared that, you know, I wish I was that, like, you know, uninformed about this complex genre that I'm obsessed with."
Oh, going lesser.
I was like, who saw Jan though open for Bad Cop? What show was that?
The concert.
Yeah, I actually
You designed a shirt for Bad Cop.
Candace and Jan, is friends with Jenny, and then I can't remember who I met first and how but I definitely met them through each other or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I could have met, because Candace is also plays with Alice Bag. But yeah, I love that about all the LA bands that I started performing with are all just like crossing over in these queercore and pop punk and like I don't know. I really love LA. I used to be intimidated by the hustle. I think that you have a very respectful, admirable like hustle that I think a lot of punk bands in places like Brooklyn, Miami have been, oh, Miami, you know, or not Miami, but like Gainesville and stuff in northern Florida have been, oh, LA's so, you know, everybody's just trying to get famous. Everyone's just trying to get famous. And I'm just like, no! Everyone just knows they love playing music and everyone is broke. And then it would be cool if they could pay the bills with their band. So they consider, you know, like everyone has the screenplay, like, you know, that fucking stereotype. And then I go to LA and I'm like, y'all motherfuckers really do all have a screenplay. Like, you're ready. Please.
Their life story, it's ready to go.
I love that. I'm like, I've had some screenplays. But yeah, like, I don't know. I just really respect that. Like, a lot of the bands that I have met from LA, not all of them, but there has been like this interest in building your fucking work and arsenal of creation. And like, I feel like in New York, I don't know, I feel like in different punk scenes I've been a part of, that's been judged. And then the way that I've like hustled my art more in like feminist literature and queer literature as opposed to like in the punk scene, I just felt like, I don't know, I just felt like I needed to like grow and deal with making money in a way that wasn't about playing music, because I was like a judgmental 20-year-old that was like, if I'm gonna play punk, then, you know, why are you gonna make money off it? That's fucked up. And like, you know, and I was like, I didn't really totally feel that way. I just kind of felt like, if you're really trying to pay the bills, and you're willing to compromise your sound to pay the bills, and I was engaging in a band that did that, I may not say we're a punk band. But I was, you know, I felt that way when I was 25, 26, and then now I'm 38, and I don't totally feel that way because punk is so specific to a sound. And I think it's unfair to take away that if you're raised on the Stooges and you're raised on like Ramones, and then you create this thing that's this magical hybrid, and then you just sound like X-Ray Specs, but like weird. And like, I don't know, it's just like, it's like important to acknowledge punk as a genre and as a root. Even if you're making hella money off of it, like you need to, like, I would have never found punk if Green Day dropped the punk title, you know, after releasing Dookie.
Yeah.
So yeah, now I just have these feelings, and I've sculpted how I feel about capitalism and making music, and then what I learned is that I just didn't like changing my music for money. Like I've always been well aware that like pop punk is like a hard sell, and like if it's gonna sell, like it's like work with these producers or work in this route, or the, you know, like it's kind of like, and there's a lot of emo bands that are like, or they're pop punk bands, but I call them emo bands because I'm old, and like, you know, I'm like, that doesn't sound like the Ramones, and like, but they're amazing, they're so good. I just see it, like we played with a couple, and my bandmates were really into emo, and like just introduced me to a lot of stuff that sorry, I'm trying to get, the lighting was weird for a minute, but yeah, anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling about capitalism and pop punk. I did like, yeah, I do feel like when I write songs, I'll be like, haha, this is gonna be so awkward because it like feels like this, but it's like this, and then it's like Crim Shrine the musical. That's what I always joke and say. All my songs are like Crim Shrine the musical is my genre. But I don't know, I've gone really into practicing my singing to like Celia Cruz and Shakira and Selena, and like I love writing more Spanish songs, and then that comes out. Like I practice singing to Whitney Houston, which I might never do in public unless if I like hit every fucking note on like I Will Always Love You. But like if I don't, nobody will overhear that. But yeah, I love learning how to sing. I love pop punk bands that have beautiful harmonies, like the Bomb Pops and stuff, you know, and like I just like love like fucking what was the band? I don't know, I'm trying to think of like, I don't know, and just growing up with doo-wop music and just like hearing like the Shirelles and like, it's like all these pop punk bands that have like a bubblegum influence in any song. It's like it wouldn't exist without fucking all those fucking Carole King writing some fucking songs for us, and like, and all those beautiful harmonies by the Shirelles, the Marvelettes. Like, I don't know. I just feel like, though, that's what I listen. I don't really listen to that many pop punk bands because I get overwhelmed with love. It's like I don't read that many books because I'll just be like, oh my god, and then like, but I don't know. Recently, like, just hearing bands that have like just like really beautiful, fun harmonies is like so inspirational. But then it's like changed my singing, but it hasn't pushed me to make melodic pop punk with a lot of melodies. It's pushing me in this weird direction of like Selena core, and like,
I love
you know, and I love it. I'm super stoked about all the new songs, but they feel, you know, it's like more Reviver kind of pop punk. Like I'm working on a new song that I'm going to be working on with, I'll just say it because it's exciting. Misky from City Mouse. I don't know if you all know City Mouse.
Yes.
Yeah, like she's going to play guitar in the new Choked Up EP. Surprise! Nobody knows.
Woohoo!
Florida now, so I get to go see her and my family. I really need to see my family. They've had a very hard year, and I really just want to be there for the holiday season. Yeah. And then Misky fucking moved to Florida, and I keep not remembering why. Because I'm like, you're from LA. But yeah, no, I'm still fucking excited. But yeah, we have this new song that I was like, maybe we should take out the first chorus, and it'll just be super long verse, chorus, weird thing in the end. And I'm just so fucking stoked to not do the usual and like, and work with somebody who also like loves, like she loves her pop, like, you know. And I'm like, you're going to get me into Taylor Swift. I'm scared. I don't believe that. I don't believe in that. We're going to get you into, we're just going to, Selena, we agree on Selena. We'll just listen to Selena all weekend.
Oh, I love her. Oh.
Do you remember, like, the first time you heard Green Day? Or like
well, okay, so I feel like I had these phases with like becoming obsessed. And in my book Fan Passion, I wrote about discovering Green Day and just like that era before like I mentioned before the zine, before, where I was just like a broken 11, 12-year-old that like I felt, you know, like I was talking about before, like I felt very badass. I felt like I was 30. I was 12. I was like a fucking douchebag. I would wear like a Marlins hat, and like it was always like, you know, like don't wear it to dinner, don't wear it to that. And I'm like, why? Ooh, like I was just so hateful of everything, and like I just feel like that era had all these different phases of like accepting Green Day, because every time I would hear them, it would be like, I don't know. And I remember this one time, the first time Longview came out, I was watching it in my room. My sister and I shared a room, and my sister walks in and she goes, what's that? And like, she's awesome. I fucking love my sister. Y'all, everyone should follow her on Instagram. Her name is Hard Headed Woman. And she's also an illustrator, but she does more like comics and fan fiction. And she's working on a comic now that's, I'm an asshole and I can't remember the name. It's like based on a Greek tragedy. And it's like really popular and awesome. And I'm really stoked for her. And she's really into Disney, and like, she's fucking awesome. But anyways, she walks in.
Hard-headed woman, like the Cat Stevens song.
Yes, that's what it is after. She loves Cat Stevens.
I love it. I love it. It's great.
Yeah, follow. Give her a follow. She's fucking awesome. A lot of really good art. So now that I'm going to talk shit, he walks into the room. What's that? And I was just like, nothing. And I turned it off. I didn't want to argue that day. I didn't want to argue. And then it happened again when I was trying to watch the VMAs. And my mom
it's my secret.
My mom walks in and she's like, we're going to watch Sister Act. Like, family's going to watch Sister Act. And I'm like, what? And this is when Green Day played Basket Case, but they secretly played Armitage Shanks instead. So they like,
oh my
God. So awesome. I was like, fuck yeah.
Yes.
Fuck yeah. I was so stoked, and I'm such a nerd. I remember everything. I remember Billy Joe was wearing a Rosillo shirt that was inside out, so I went and discovered the Rosillos, and I bought their vinyl on eBay.
Oh, yes.
They were good. I was like, I'm not going to buy this shit if it sucks.
Yeah.
It was good. But anyways, yeah, there was all these different moments. And then I borrowed Dookie from a friend at school, which I did write about in Spit and Passion. Like, I condensed these like moments. And then there was another time where Green Day was on 120 Minutes. And they played Cristy Road, and I didn't really think about it. Like, I was like, this is really good, but, you know, like, I just felt like this was, I don't know, music felt really inaccessible, because it was like, well, I'm going to have to find a ride to Specs, and Specs Music, it was the record store in the day, and my mom has to take me, and, you know, hopefully there isn't any curse words on the outside of the packaging, and but I fought for Green Day. There was a lot of curse words that I was just like, Mom, it's art. And my mom was just like, you know what? She seems less depressed. Let's let her have that. And like, you know, it was like my family really supported me having like something to love and to identify with. And even despite like their conservative values at the time, I also knew that they were like badass women, all working a million fucking jobs. You know, it was just like, I don't give a shit if we're gonna fight about pink hair, homosexuality. It's the 90s. I'm gonna like just go find a secret place to go be pink haired and homosexual, and like and you know, figure out the gayness, how much, you know. And it's like, and it's always, you know, it's always annoying. It's always like, if I like a boy, it's like, when it's felt exciting. I spent like 10 years not talking about guys I liked, because I hated how excited my family would get, but in a way where like, maybe I just like didn't even feel comfortable talking about queer relationships or women, or, you know. So it was just like this thing that there's always like a little bit of, or not now we're all old and no one gives a shit, but like, you know, when I was younger and like trying to be myself, I feel like there was so many times of like not being able to be myself, but there was still this overall support of like having found a punk and like something to believe in. And so I feel like, yeah, it was just always very like, they were always just so excited for me and Green Day. They're so happy. They're so happy for me and Green Day. I bought tickets to the Hella Mega tour and I've known Green Day. I've known Billy Joe and Jason for a million years because of zines and punk being so small. And I don't know. I just think so much of punk ends up being very small when you make things and you're a part of the community and stuff. But anyways, I don't know, like I've gone connected to get into shows and stuff a million times, but I still feel weird asking all the goddamn time. So I was like, well, I'm gonna buy this expensive ass ticket, because I just got this expensive ass gig, and I'm gonna surprise everyone in Miami. And I bought tickets to the Miami show, and it was at the Hard Rock Stadium. So I got a fucking week at the Hard Rock Guitar Shack Hotel Which originally I got like an Airbnb in South Beach, and you know, this is like my spa week. I'm just gonna go see Green Day. That's like what, a couple hours out of a week.
Yeah.
But like I was like, I need to prepare and then decompress. And so at this stupid ass hotel, it's shaped like a guitar. It's so amazing and dumb. And so I like prepared this whole like magical moment, and I think like yeah, my mom was really happy. Like I think everybody in my life when like that's always a sign of mental health, mental wellness, when I'm like excited about the Green Day concert and I'm going to buy an outfit for it, and I don't give a shit about what, you know, this how much the review about what this douchebag said at the show about, you know, I think that it's just like when you love your music and the people that show up for you, and like, you know, when just like investing in music feels like a safe, magical thing, and it's like a healing thing, it's so important. And I don't know, I like, the older I get, the more I feel about going to like concerts by myself, and Green Day's extra special because it's like, you know, maybe we get to like, I get to like meet people, I don't know, and like hang out, and but it's, I don't know, it's the same when I got tickets to see, or I was gonna get tickets, another pandemic drama was to Elvis Costello and Blondie.
Oh my, I wanted to go. Oh, so sad.
So many good shows were supposed to be there.
Everything was, a lot of stuff was gonna happen. Was, yeah, the show that we canceled was with a band called Bakshay. They're really amazing, and that was gonna be in April. And then we were gonna play with Pity Party from the Bay Area in New York.
We love them.
Wait, you're wearing a shirt of them!
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah!
love Pity Party.
Yeah.
That was gonna be like the week before the Elvis Costello show, where I was gonna wear like my new pumps.
Oh my god, that would.
So emotional.
Hopefully, it still happens in the future. You know,
Hopefully.
like future view.
Yeah, future show. I don't know. I'm like, I feel I'm like, oh God, I didn't even answer the question about the first time I heard Green Day, but like I it's like this long-term answer apparently.
You told us that you did answer
Every
it in
time feels like the first time.
Oh, Green Day is so awesome. I relate. I have the 27 tattoo that Billy has tattooed on his arm, so I'm a big nerd. You can gush about them forever, and I'll be like, yes.
Yeah, no, I love all the new stuff. I love the new album. I was so fucking excited to see it live, and like, yeah, and just like I would like all their new fashion. Like there was Trey Cool got like a cheetah print drum kit, and then Billy Joe started wearing this cheetah print like jacket, and I was like, oh my God, I just got a cheetah print throw pillow. I'm all in sync. Everyone's in sync. So yeah, like it's just, I was so excited about, you know how when bands release a new album, it's like, it's not just the album, it's like the whole tour, the whole, and there was a lot of cool stuff about the tour that I was very excited about, that I won't talk about because it's just depressing, and I believe it's still going to happen. They re-announced
it will.
Date.
It will.
All the cool stuff that I was excited about, hopefully, is still going to happen.
Those are three big bands that are not going anywhere. We love the Interrupters. They're from the Valley where I'm from.
I don't know if they were going to be in the Miami show, but maybe.
Our last show that we went to together as friends, I feel like, was the Cover-Up. So we saw Jason and Billy play until like 3 o'clock in the morning for Trey Cool's birthday. And it was the best night. And yeah,
it was.
We went out with a bang.
That show went on for like 3 days. It felt like it was so.
It was like 3 a.m. They were still playing. We're like, what is happening?
Like half the room's gone already. Like people are.
Oh, I haven't seen the Cover-Ups. The Cover-Ups actually played the day before I arrived in the Bay Area for the Choked Up tour, and I didn't know, like I couldn't come a day. We were like practicing that day because, and I was so sad. But I'll someday, I would have loved to go to that 40th Street block party.
Oh yeah.
I was in town for that. I was going to see Off With Their Heads at a private party show for a friend's like anniversary. She booked like one of my favorite bands. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go. And then I'm like, of course, Billy Joe's playing some block party while I'm in
Blocking all the shows. Yes.
I loved it. I was like, all right, I gotta go.
Oh wait, you skipped. Oh, did you see? You got to go to both?
Yeah, we couldn't help it.
I almost flew out to the Bay because I heard there was a block party, and I was like, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen there. But like, I got very excited, and I thought I should just show up, and it was just one of those time periods where like fun shouldn't be my priority.
I understand.
I don't know what was going on, but fun was definitely like gonna compromise a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we used to have fun, but now we're into safety.
I'm sorry?
We used to have fun, but we're into safety now.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's ways still to have fun. If we like try to be creative and creepy and be a 90s punk, go out to the river in the middle of the night, like that's what you gotta do. Like there is no, I'm like, I guess there's all kinds of every decade there's punks that hang out at the river. But I just really identify with that, with hating the 21 plus, like, like I just feel like when you're a teen and you're punk and you're writing your zine, you feel so old and you just feel so like, I want to explore and I want to live life. It's like you got to drink at the river. You got to go to the river after the show. You got to like, it's like your Denny's, but you don't want to always fucking go to Denny's to hang out. We used to hang out at Barnes and Noble a lot. I don't know why.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's where you fucking hung out. And but I feel like now, because there isn't those institutions of gathering and like we have to be creative. And I love going to Manhattan and just seeing kids skateboarding everywhere. I'm like, suddenly you can skateboard anywhere. And like a lot of it really depends where you live too, and the kind of stuff that like you miss or you have access to. And y'all have yards, you can start growing some squash and shit, some figs.
Oh, that's what that's what my friend did. And I go over there, I pick her berries, all of it. We're in California. We're growing weed out here.
Oh shit! I'll never forget our Fresno show where we were just chilling in the parking lot, smoking weed, and it's legal and fun and so exciting. And then we're sitting by the car. We just look up, and there's pomegranates growing out of a tree. And we all flipped out, like. Holy crap, I didn't know, I forgot those came from nature. They didn't come from the palm factory with all the little pieces. And like it was so beautiful. And then this guy starts being like, Fresno feeds America.
I love it. Oh, so good. My grandma had a pomegranate tree, and I honestly couldn't wear a white shirt over at her house.
Oh no! Yeah,
so good.
I'd never seen one in nature. Figs were also blackberries, just everything y'all have out there. And I'm from Florida. We have a lot of cool stuff. We have mangoes, starfruit. Starfruit were on the ground when I lived in Sarasota, Florida, on the Gulf Coast. it was just, yeah, it was just like really magical with all the fruit everywhere. And yeah, I don't remember why we were talking about this, but it's very calming.
It started from wheat to pomegranates growing from trees to, we go to Florida.
Go to the river and hang out.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
We hang out in parking lots. We're city people. So it's like you have to go out to the beach and do the bonfire thing. That's kind of like the
parking lots. I did parking lots a lot in high school too, and the river I needed a ride because it was always like 30 minutes because we were out in the suburbs that were closer to the Everglades and not closer to the Atlantic Ocean. This is in high school. We hung out at the Pet Supermarket parking lot, and yeah.
Whatever show we're at, that's the parking lot we're hanging out at.
Yeah.
Pre-show and post-show.
Yeah. Yeah. It's cool though. Yeah. Talking about all this makes me really excited for the new songs, even though it's weird to not have this concept of like tour and community and, thinking about like writing pop punk music existing in the world and feeling like a lot of scenes don't want to deal with your rhetoric and just kind of like trying to not give a shit and, but I feel it less when I don't tour. So I like releasing or writing these songs. It almost feels like it's a secret project. This is the first time I talk about it in public, and on Instagram I keep being like, working on some songs, not going to talk about it. And then I'm like, cool, I'm a bitch. But like I'm just really excited, and I'm gonna hang out with her next week, and I'm so excited. I like don't even. Yeah, I said I don't know why she's in Florida, but she's near my family, so I get to see a friend, and then we're gonna. Quarantine. I'm quarantining with these. I self-isolate usually in my life. I'm here by myself with all my drawings, and so I'm like. I'm like, you want to join my pod?
Yeah, I've been keeping a really small, close, tight circle. So these Zoom calls are like the most like social gatherings I have.
Yeah.
I plan my whole day around them.
Yeah.
That should be fun.
What's that?
I said that should be fun. Going back and seeing family is always just it's going to give you some sense of like normalcy.
Yeah.
Seeing people you can touch and hug and love and, waiting 2 weeks to see another human being.
Yeah. It's specifically like I am definitely going down because of just difficult, sad things that have happened this year, with a death in the family that's just been very hard on all of us. And so they're all there now. So I just like, I feel like as the one that's not there, and like the holiday season, I don't know. It's like the holiday season's fucked up, and it's not, it's the media. Yeah. Because it's like everyone blames Christmas. But it's like, the original St. Nicholas, before the illustrator had on sunblonde, made him look red and white for the Coca-Cola art. Like, that Santa Claus isn't even real. He didn't fucking ask for this. Like, the media just makes the holiday season, it just puts so much pressure on everybody. And so it's funny because even when I lived with my family and I had that like la comida cubana every night, the loud ass family every night, I wanted love and I wanted a partner, and I was just sad about that. Like there was always this void because Christmas is a void. It's like the holiday season, it's like it gives you this void where like you just feel incomplete unless if you have this perfect fullness, like the family, the partner, the financial stability, the amazing project that everyone loves. Like it's such bullshit. it's so, and it's just like ingrained in people. But yeah, like just because we've had a rough year, I was like, I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna dress up like an astronaut and make my way down to Florida.
Yeah.
Awesome. Everyone's gonna make fun of me. I'm gonna care. And yeah. Everyone should check out Delta flights. They're like with one seat in the middle is empty, and they're just taking a lot of precautions. But yeah, I also feel lucky to have an art. My job is art, so I just I could leave for a long ass time, and I think that leaving during the pandemic, it's like, touring would be a shit show, and visiting someone for like 3 days, and then doing a kind of road trip would also be a shit show. So it's just kind of like I'm just gonna go leave for a while, and I found somebody that's gonna stay with my cat here for a while. And
Aww.
yeah, it's good. It's Chippy, she's friends. Chippy will be happy. But yeah, it's a rough time for like, and it's so annoying because so much shit is closing down, so many amazing things that could just thrive in the future, but need these resources to survive, and it's just because of rent. And it's like nobody's getting this like some kind of a like forgiveness rain check.
Yeah.
Everyone should just get a rain check for rent rain check. It's just kind of like, why do you need to pay rent on a restaurant that is not being used?
Yeah.
Why? Like, it's just like so much about like landlord control, developer control, and like these terrible things that are like making families poor, and it's just like horrifying, and it's so sad. And like, so I'm just like, what? Everything's just so weird and stressful, and I'm like, I need to see what I can do as artists, and I'm like, it's a weird time where the stuff we usually do, like, there's not even those resources, with a lot of the ways that we've shown up as musicians and as artists playing benefit shows. That was like my go-to. Let's set up a benefit show. This thing sucks. And like, and it's like, there's so many, but now I've been doing more benefit art. I've never done that before. Like, creating a specific drawing to sell for a cause, or, and I've just always been benefit showing forever. And yeah, so yeah, I've just been trying to switch things, how I do things, and try to adapt, but not everybody has that luxury. And I have so much love and for all these bands that, people whose primary thing was touring and playing music, or main thing. And like, I think there's pros and cons to everything. It's like, if you do a lot of different things, maybe capitalism is going to be a little hard for you. But if you're just like music, that is what you do, that's what you're doing. It's like, maybe there's been this whole amazing trajectory, but this fucking stupid ass pandemic, it's like, and then the stupid ass government that like has made it last forever. And then now, I'm not even going to talk about it, but it's just all so sad. And so yeah, I just feel a lot of people who were very focused on music and touring and nightlife and performing, just don't have access to that anymore. And you can't just suddenly be like, I'm going to do this other thing then, or I'm just going to dip into my savings. And like, it's like, so yeah, I'm just really hoping for everything to work out, and also for like people to like figure out live stream, because I don't know, sometimes I'm like, is it a generational? Kids love videos, but they're all short. They're like short videos, and I'm like, people don't like. There's no more variety shows. If y'all remember, like I only watched Spanish television until I got into grown up stuff like Aerosmith.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of y'all saw Sábado Gigante with like Don Francisco, and like, yeah, like it was so like, that fucking show was my life. And then Siempre en Domingo also, and it was just like, I don't know. I feel like everybody, you still have like the Late Show and the Late Late Show and all that stuff, but like I just think it used to be more popular, like in the 80s and like variety shows, and then like that's what we got to do now. We got to do. I love the way bands are doing social distance performances outdoors. I think that they have been really, really like uplifting for the community and for like our brain, and you know, but at the same time we gotta be safe because things are just getting shittier. So everyone should get in that Twitch. Someone start a Twitch channel.
Yes. Yeah. No, the Twitch live streaming. They do the karaoke on Twitch, the gaming, whatever, you know.
Wild. Yeah.
That'd be fun.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's been.
I feel like I myself need to just get more into it, and like I love catching something live on Facebook. It makes me feel like I'm like, I don't know, live television was always more fun than like taped because you like it's exciting, and like people just gotta get into that.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to do and to like entertain. You can like watch a movie in a group chat. You can film your cat for people who are at home without cats.
Well, I want to figure out watching a movie with the group chat because we tried to watch it was like an Oasis documentary, and then the Walter Mercado documentary on Netflix, and like we kind of fucked it up both times, and like I gotta figure that out. I really want to be social again. The socializing that I got really into that also is caters to my like 90s lifestyle is people getting into FaceTiming and then telling the world I'll fucking you know, if anybody just likes chilling, smoke a bowl, have a glass of wine, FaceTime me unsolicited like back in the day, and I love it. I love like, because I'm drawing all day too. It's like, I'm not going to do that to you unless if you give me consent to, because that's apparently very rude to unsolicited FaceTime. Some, not rude, but some people just can't. And, you know, you can just hit it. Decline it. It's not a big deal, but I love it. I love it so much. And I love just being like, oh, look who's coming by.
Yeah, it is true. Right? It feels like someone stopped dropping in like Pee-wee's Playhouse. Yeah.
I would have loved that back in the day. To just have my like after school phone call with my best friend on Facebook.
Yeah. Instead, they had to call that landline. Someone had to answer. Someone had to yell for you.
I loved it. My grandma, because we had the caller ID that would say, but the name that would come out was just the name on the phone bill. So like, he would yell out like my friend's dad's name, or like, and I loved it because it was like I always knew. Like I know your dad's name because that's the name that comes out.
Yeah, mine was Jenny. It was like Jenny's calling. Like that's not me.
It's not Jenny.
I love that. Oh,
that was great.
No, we're doing the best we can right now to really like, you know, stay connected, and it's really great because, you know, I feel for people who are in bands because really you are family. Like you spend so much time together. So like that disconnect, I'm sure, is going to have a lot of effect on, you know, musical relationships or people having to get jobs during this, you know, hard time. I mean, can't take time off when, you know, just when the world gets back to the normal, you know. So
just how tour revenue and merch revenue became like the stability factor. Like nobody, it's like Spotify, like there's less like album sales, and it's, you know, it's awesome. I'm sure bands sell albums and sell, especially if there's like a vinyl pre-sale with like some beautiful splatter ink vinyl there's only limited to like 1,000, but still it's like that's gonna pay, you know, a couple months rent or like, you know, but it's kind of like there's multiple band members, there's multiple like investments, like investing in whatever stupid ass gear repair and shit. And it's like, yeah, it's like suddenly we don't have to pay for gas or van repair, but we also are not making any money from shows, which ends up being like money from shows just was like yeah, you just like I didn't even realize how important it was until the first time I toured and booked it myself. And it was super, you know, DIY punk shows. There was no Facebook. It was before Facebook. Oh, we had a band member, and I was dating him, and so I was like, I was too punk, and he was like 2 years younger, but for some reason I felt so old. I was like 27, and he was 25, and I was like, oh, you're a millennial. You and your internet, you millennial. But like, he fucking got us a Facebook page, and I was so against it. I was just like, whatever, you deal with it. And so he started posting the shows on Facebook and stuff, and but I wasn't promoting them. I was just like, whatever. But I was, you know, I was so like into this person that I was just like trusted him to do whatever, even though I was against it. But I was against it. I was like, we're a DIY punk band. We don't participate in the face. And like, but yeah, it was all house shows. It was all booked through like old ass friends and networks, and I just trusted that they were promoting. You just show up in the town and you just let them know. And then I didn't even book housing. I like found housing at every show, you know, like a real punk tour.
Yeah.
Like I booked housing because I'm just like, we all have chronic pain and we're old and we want Airbnbs, and like I'm gonna save up and then make it back on the tour. But like tours pay for themselves, but like tours kind of stopped. You know, if you're living off of it and you're making more than just what you're investing, it becomes such a big ass part of your life. Yep. I kept touring because I realized how much it would, just keep me afloat.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I hope that things get back to normal for people. Honestly, like as soon as there's a show, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna buy the shirt. I'm gonna tell my friends, share the link, everything you can do, you know. That's how we're going to keep the scene, you know, going in all of our little communities.
Yeah.
We're never going to miss a show again.
Yeah, no. And it's funny because very few bands are doing like the outdoor shows and stuff. And so when one does it, or yesterday actually, this really amazing band, 1865 and Rebelmatic, put on a show on the street. And a friend of mine was texting me, and I had this painting job all day, so I was just kind of like not able to go. But she texted me and was like, hey, there's a show today, we're all going. And I was like, oh, 1865. And it felt like, you know, like back in the day or living in a small town. The show! I know the show.
The one show.
5 shows a night. LA, I'm sure, is the same. Yeah. I remember our show with like you know, like Jan and Kausa and stuff. That show happened the same night as these like garage bands, and I was like so nervous. Like the garage bands in the OC. And, like, this show was at the hi-hat, you know, and they're like, oh, why are you nervous? Who fucking cares? Like, garage bands in the OC is, shut up. And I was just kind of like, oh, it's like New York City.
Yeah. No, we love the hi-hat. We, like, even if we didn't know about a band that was playing, we would go to the hi-hat because there was a show. It's a good venue.
Yeah, I love it there so much. Really amazing sound and everything. I loved it.
That's awesome. Well, we can't wait for you to come back.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Next year-ish. We're like, and towards the end of the year, we're hoping that there's going to start to be traveling and bands and things. But it honestly, if it's not safe, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to, you know, risk people's lives.
Yeah, I mean, it's
reality.
It's a time to just use that energy to, like, it sucks because it's a time to use that energy to focus on ourselves and be the best version of ourselves. And it's like, I think of the last Choked Up tour and the one before, and just how sad I would get about different stuff in my life that I hadn't really faced.
Mm-hmm.
That I didn't even really have the space. My bandmates were awesome and supportive and would like, you know, I'd be crying and they'd be like, here's this bowl, you know. It's like we were able to show up, but like I was just in such a different place in my life and dealing with like emotions that I didn't even know how to articulate to myself. So like while you're very sad and confused and easily triggered, I was really triggered out by like stupid little things, you know, stupid things that happen with family at home, or if you see a crush and you're just, I want to die now, you know. It's just kind of like the feelings that have to do with like old trauma, you know, shit you're working on. Like if we could only never be affected by crushes and moms. Oh, wow, what a great life. And it's possible. I really believe in like self-care and growing. Like I'm a million times less, you know, affected by people being shitty, people hurting me, people chopping me, like stuff that would really turn me over the edge. And it's because of all of the like self-care and witchcraft and, you know, like growth and ancestral magic that I've like done. But I've had all this time because I'm an artist, and I'm like, God, if they could just fucking cancel rent, people would be able to have spa o'clock every day. Like 3 times a day. It's like, oh, fuck, you know, my Zoom meeting today, like I felt like totally mansplained by motherfucker. Like, and it's like then spending the rest of the day, like, arguing with other motherfuckers because you have your other job, because you have to pay rent, blah, 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 blah. Like imagine just having that one thing that you need to focus on, and then using all that rage and all that stress from these little things, and then in places where you're just like, all right, well, I'm gonna like sit on the porch, have a beer, and just like really think, you know, have my fucking happy hour that like I used to have by going to the show, I used to have by going to the dive bar or just going to my friend's house. And I remember like I've been working from home for a million years, and I've been cocktailing here and there through the years, but it's like no matter what I'm doing, if I'm like working nightlife or working from home drawing, I always need some kind of a happy hour like thing. And I think that like people, the Zoom life without that, it's like really driving people over the edge because you're like losing that normalcy that comes with humanity and touch, and like it's like you feel like you have a body, you feel grounded, and like it's like this thing you get from relationships. And like I'm single as all hell, and like, you know, I've just been single for a long ass time, and like I'm always like, you get to snuggle at night. You don't know how bad it really is. But like, you know, I'm like, this is the time for couples to really know, for everybody to just really like make sure that you like love the space you're in, like, and really want like that. And that's your spa time, you know, because it's like, they're not going to fucking cancel rent. Joe Biden's not going to cancel rent. Yeah. And like, I'm like, sorry. I'm like, Bernie Sanders is putting up all these memes, and I'm just like, God, have you cancel our rent? But yeah, like, I don't know. There's a lot, there's still a lot, there's still a lot of struggle, you know, with as far as like surviving during the pandemic and our jobs being compromised, and yeah, it would just be really fucking nice to be able to use this time to like, you know, imagine just like writer's retreat vibe, like fucking going out and writing songs in the woods.
Yeah.
Like if we could all fucking do that, that'd be so nice. And or turn our house into the woods, get those lamps that do night skies.
Yes. No,
That's
it's a good
the
time.
government should send us.
It's a great time to like really figure out what is your thing and just invest yourself in it. And like I was like, okay, fine, I'll take up crocheting finally. Like, you know, like just giving into something that you just like doubt yourself on. And I bought a lot of resin ashtrays from my friends and stuff, you know, like support their shit, like do what you can. Yeah, it's good that like a lot of people are discovering, you know, if not like investing themselves in music and writing, art, you know, it's all really a good time to like figure it out, you know.
Yeah. Even if it is like it was definitely like a weird um isolating thing, because I feel like I'm always going through these processes of like reinvention as an artist and as a writer, musician, and what do I want to focus on? What do I want to do? And like how can I stay inspired by these you know, like I grew up with like seeing like Aaron Kamabuz, who had all these things, and like watching you know, like Bikini Kill. There was Bikini Kill the band and Bikini Kill the zine. I was like,
Yeah.
I want to do when I grow up. And I had a band in high school. We were called Wabase Waska. After at the library with Wabase Waska. Let's not say what it is. It's for fans only. It was my band with my best friend Nancy, and she had a zine too. And it was just, you know, we were just like living the dream. We never found a drummer. But yeah, like I don't know. I just think it's important for everybody to just like man, now I derailed what I was saying because I started laughing at stuff.
But yeah, it's definitely time for self-discovery and like things.
Oh, self-discovery.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, bands having all the things. All right. No, yeah. Okay, so back in the day, it felt so magical and so exciting. But then when it became my job, more so the art than the music, and it's like I always was like so focused on my message and my creation and my thing, but there was always rent to deal with. But then I'd always like you know, get side gigs and stuff if my personal vision wasn't selling, if I wasn't getting hired, if you know, and I'd always have cocktailing gigs, and I'd always have just all kinds of weird shit. And then eventually with the tarot deck, I became way more financially stable off of my visual art and the tarot deck itself, which I wasn't even expecting. I did the deck because it's like the universe just kept pushing me to do it and pushing me to do it. And it was originally commissioned by the writer Michelle T, and we were doing it together, but then she left, and I felt like I needed to finish it. Like I was like, this has been mine for so long, and I've done so much already. And then it became more about like ancestral magic and the queer community and like just fucked up people reclaiming ancestral magic. And it's like there's so much in punk that is about, you know, anti-colonialism and anti all of these things, but like a lot of the time magic is erased, and it's like, well, that's what the colonizers did. That's what capitalism did. It's like indigenous communities, ancient thought is about magic, is about ethereal knowledge, and it's about connecting humanity with the cosmos. Yeah. And it's super complicated. It's super fucked up. And then it's all fucked up because of Catholicism and Christianity and all these gatekeepers of magic, you know? Yeah. But it's like, think of fucking pagans and think of like all these, it's like everybody has ancestral magic. It's just been destroyed by, you know, the colonizers. And so doing the deck was like, oh yeah, well, this is the punkest thing ever. You know, I'm reclaiming the magic. Yeah. And that's like, you know, it's a real fuck you to like a lot of industry. And so I was just excited to do it. And then the fact that tarot became kind of popular, like after I already started it, it was super weird. I was like, all right. I usually I'm usually poser, what is this, posers? But no, I was just like, oh my God, this is actually really cool that people are into these I've always called tarot like therapy in a box, because I still love getting readings without knowing the magic behind it. And I don't know. So just like doing that and like living off of that has been what I was originally saying. Sorry to derail. Anyways, Gemini. What I was originally saying was that the living off of your art makes you so, you know, like kind of lost in it. to the point where like you're successful and you're fine, you know, your band's doing this, your art's doing this, you don't, it's like you don't, your fans would love it if you did something exactly the same, but you don't want to because you're a fucking like genius creator and you want to do something exciting. And like being in that place in this time where we can't go on tour and explore, we can't like, you know, like play weird shows and weird new environments. It's like it's very limited how we can reinvent ourselves and how we can grow. And it's all about like locking yourself up with like new tools. And like, I personally don't always love that. I just learned how to connect an audio interface. And my friend, one of my best friends is an amazing sound engineer, Jade Payne. She does sound for band called Krung Ben, and she just did sound for Bikini Kill, and like she's just like fucking awesome sound genius. And I feel very lucky to have her as one of my BFFs. And so I kept calling her while doing this and like being like, oh my god, what? And then texting again, and oh wait, I got it, never mind. And like I felt so proud because like I figured it out on my own. And her energy, of course, her responding and being like, oh shit, did you get it? I'm like, I got it. You know, so it's like maybe her magical energy influenced me. But another thing that really helped was Lauren Denizio of Warriors. They have a blog, listserv, real 90s. Fucking love Lauren for that 90s vibe of keeping a listserv that you sign up for, a mailing list. And so anyways, they made pretty much a guide to sound, like live streaming sound and how to not make it sound like crap. And I'm just talking into my computer right now. My audio interface is right there inside that little thing. But no, yeah, they have like a whole like step by step. Could you hear that little sound that happens? Oh my god, I don't know how to make it stop.
Technology.
I think we're actually like on our time limit. We're coming up to it.
All right. But yeah, y'all got to check it out. Warriors, Lauren Denizio has a whole step-by-step guide on how to connect the audio interface for these times of, yeah, it's like everybody needs to, like, I was so annoyed by that. I was like, God, now I have to figure out how to do sound. I love sound people.
I have a lot of friends that do sound and lighting in the business. So my friend Haas did lighting for Reverend Horton Heat and sound for like 10 years or something. So I'm always like, so what do you do? Like, what is going on behind the scenes? What am I witnessing? Like, you
there's
look so calm
math.
just standing there. Yeah, there's like so much going on. Timing, and you have to know the band that you're doing the lighting for or sound. The one band that I've heard is crazy about their lighting is X. I guess that they're like really hard to do the light. It's like you put a blue light on her, she'll fucking kill you. Like it's just like something so random. Like, don't you shine that light on her? She'll stop the show. But I love it. Like people have been doing, you know, they have their own thing and they've been doing it for so long, you know. Yeah. It's good to learn technical aspects.
Yeah. I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited about sitting down and learning stuff on my own that I am excited about, practicing those Whitney Houston harmonies. I learned a lot of choked up harmonizing with our old guitarist, Rachel, who had all those emo harmonies down. So, all right, I'll stop rambling. You did say you had to go soon. But no, yeah, I'm just excited about all the new skills, even though it's sad. It's like a sad fucking reality. But if we have the time and resources, I'm really trying to figure out new sauces. Like I can cook you the fucking bomb-ass Cuban dinner of your life, of anything, any dish, anything you want. But like everything else I make always tastes the same. So I'm like trying to like figure stuff out. So I've been excited about that. Like learning how to cook, learning how to make a garlic roux that doesn't taste like sofrito, a fucking Cuban ass sofrito. And like, learning how to do different stuff. I made salsa verde, and like now everything is just like, everything's chile verde now. And
if you're gonna make the one thing I learned, if you're gonna make salsa verde, is you put the green tomatoes and you roast them.
Yeah, I roasted everything.
With the onion, with the garlic.
Yeah, I roasted it all before blendering it. But so I roasted everything, and then you know how you have to peel them? I don't know, maybe you don't have to.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
But I forgot to wear gloves.
Oh.
It was fun, you know, a little kink, whatever. A little food kink. My hands were it was like the weirdest burn, you know, where you can't put like lotion on it.
Yeah.
It looked like there's bugs. It felt like there was insects inside of my hands.
No self-love for a week.
I know. It was so scary.
So
I can't ever do anything with this hand for the rest of my life. It was so horrifying. At least like 48 hours. It was really weird for 48 hours. Yeah. But it was a good ass sauce. And I can do the garlic roux is not dangerous, and it's real quick.
It's not dangerous.
Simplify it. Well, we're gonna do like a cooking aspect eventually. I mean, like I'm like I want all the tips and trades.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's been so awesome talking to you.
Thank you so much. I haven't had I've been talking a lot about the tarot deck. And I Choked Up has done a lot too, you know. But I don't know. I just kind of always miss punk, because I've been having a lot more, and I really appreciate and love anybody who's willing to have a conversation with me. But because you're coming from punk, and I love all of your wall decor, I actually turned a little bit because I was like, I want to have cool wall decor too. But I just, I'm nostalgic, and I appreciate when everyone's coming from punk, because it's like you kind of get this like cultish upbringing where, as much as there's, like we said, there's so much shitty things that happen in the community, in different parts of the community, and but it's still, at the end of the day, this giant community, and it's kind of up to us to just like rise up and call shit out, and then start our own institutions, and not be scared to piss people off.
Yeah, definitely.
But where can like the public, where can they find you? Like Instagram, Facebook, all that.
All the things is Roadcore, C Roadcore, like Cristy Road, the Green Day song. Cristy Road Carrera, the adult. Is crowdcore.org is my website with all my art and my merch, and all the social media. I only use Instagram, and I kind of share it on Facebook, and I keep meaning to like post dumb stuff on Twitter, like complaining about complaining about random bullshit because it's funny. But then I'm like, no, I don't know, it's too much.
It's hard not to want to indulge in that behavior.
Yeah, and then TikTok, I'm like, oh, I love choreographed dancing. But then when I realized that it was like dance challenges and everyone's doing the same dance, I was like, that's not what I want. No, this is like choreographed dancing to songs that I love. And like, I do that because it's fun, and I do it because I'm, like, it's a workout. It's fun. It's good for your soul and your brain. And, do that fucking like, choreographed dance to your favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, TikTok dances aren't dances that I recognize. Like, this
I had
isn't
no idea what was going on. How do you all know? How do you all know the same dance?
I know. I feel very old watching TikTok dances. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't play Fortnite.
I started an account because I was like, oh, am I supposed to start an account? Like, I'm an artist. Is this what the people do? And then I just realized it was like, it felt like I was in Times Square, just like this, like.
Yeah, it's weird, but
But it's nonstop. It's like nonstop movement, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go read a magazine.
That was amazing. Like, if we're doing like a video for like the thumbnail, I want that to the movie.
Yeah.
oh God.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.